Hello and welcome to a new video on IGCSE Mathematics. In this video, we shall be discussing similar triangles. The question says that the diagram shows two straight lines, AE and BD, intersecting at C. Angle ABC equals angle EDC. Triangles ABC and EDC are congruent. Write down two properties of line segment AB and DE. So if the triangles are congruent, of course, you should know that all corresponding sides are congruent. So using the same order of the letters, we can say the following. We write down the two names of the triangles underneath each other, like this. So ABC and EDC. And each pair of sides has to be congruent to each pair of congruent sides of corresponding sides, excuse me. So AB has to be congruent to ED, BC as well has to be congruent to DC, and finally AC has to be congruent to EC. So what do we know about AB and DE? They are congruent. So the first statement or the first answer we're going to write is that they are congruent. Now for the second answer, what else can we say about AB and DE? Not only are sides congruent, but angles are congruent as well. So these two are equal, these two are equal, these two are equal. So A, B, C has to, A has to equal E, B has to equal D, and C has to equal C. Of course, C here refers to this angle, and the other C refers to the other angle. We already know that these are equal because they're vertically opposite angles. But what we are interested in this case is that B and D are equal to each other. And this tells us that we have congruent alternating interior angles. So we have this Z shape here. And because of this Z shape, we can say that these two lines are parallel. So not only are AB and DE congruent to each other, but they are also parallel. This is the second observation that we want to make in this case. And parallel and same length, of course, congruent or equal or same length, they all mean the same thing. So these are the two correct answers here. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Calculate the value of X and Y. Now, for similarity, things are a bit different. We also write the names of the triangles underneath each other, but the segments are now not equal to each other. They just are proportional to each other. What does this mean? Let's find out. So ABC and DEF, we also take two letters at a time, but we don't equate them. We just write them over each other like this. So AB over DE and BC over EF. And finally, we have AC and DF. So we have AC over DF like this. And we should know that each fraction is equal to the other fraction. Next, we just plug in the values that we're given. So for example, from the drawing, we are given that AB equals to 8, DE equals to 6, BC equals to 10, EF equals to X, AC equals to Y, and DF is equal to 9. So now we have an algebra equation in terms of X and Y, and we want to figure them out. So we have 8 over 6 equals 10 over X. We can cross multiply. So 8x equals to 60. If we divide by 8, we get 7.5 for x. Same idea, we write 8 over 6 again, but this time we equate it to the third fraction, which is y over 9. And we cross multiply. So we get 8 times 9, which is 72. This is equal to 6y. Divide by 6, you get y equals to 12. So x is equal to 7.5 and y is equal to 12. These are the correct answers. This is the cross-section of the plant pot. Find L. So in this case, this is part of a question, not the whole question, but we are only interested in this part for similarity. And we are given a plant pot of some sort, a certain diagram, and we require to find L. So in this kind of diagram, we should know that the triangles are similar to each other. But which triangles? So let's just write down some letters in order to figure this out. Let's write A, B, C, and let's also write D here and write E here as well. And we can write maybe X and Y here as well, so that we have all the points we need. Now you should know that the following triangles are similar to each other. So the blue triangle, which is triangle AYC, is similar to the green triangle, which is triangle AXE. These two triangles are similar to each other. So how does that help us? Again, we can write down the equation that we talked about in the last problem. Take each two at a time. So AY over AX equals YC over XE. And this equals AC over AE. Now, what do we have here? So for AY, this is the height, and we don't really have that. So let's ignore that for now. AX as well, we don't really have that, so we can't use it for now. What about YC? YC is something that we have. YC is equal to 15. What about XE? XE, this part here, is equal to 8. So we can just write down 8. Now, what about AC? So AC is this entire line here from A to C. And this is the same as from A to B. And therefore, AC is equal to the L that we are looking for. And finally, what about AE? AE is this yellow part here. And we said that the whole thing is equal to L. So to get the yellow part, we should understand that this black line is equal to the sum of the yellow part and the blue part. So in other words, I can call the yellow part maybe X or something, or Z or M or whatever. And I can say that L is equal to 35 plus X. Since I don't really want another unknown, I can just write X as L minus 35. So therefore, the yellow part is actually equal to L minus 35. And this yellow part is AE, which is what we have in the equation. So we can just cross out AE, and we can write L minus 35. And the target here is to find L. So again, we cross multiply. We get 8L equals 15 multiplied by L minus 35. We can expand and solve for L. So 8L equals 15L minus 15 times 35. You can use your calculator for that. I will use mine right now. So 15 multiplied by 35 is equal to 525. Now we take the 525 to the other side. So this becomes positive 525. And we take the 8L to the other side as well. So this is 15L minus 8L, which is actually 7L. Therefore, in order to get L, all you have to say is 525 equals 7L. So L equals 525 divided by 7, which is 75. So therefore, L equals 75. Let's check the marking scheme. L equals 75 is the correct answer here. Triangle CBA and CED are similar. So before even reading further, we just take these three letters and these three letters and we write them above each other like this. So CBA and CED. And we construct our similarity equation by taking two at a time. So CB over CE is equal to BA over ED. And this is equal to CA over CD. So this is the equation that we have. And we begin filling in the numbers that we are given. We're given that AB is parallel to DE, and we want to find the value of K. So CB is 6 plus 4.8. So to go from C to B, this is the entire thing. So 6 plus 4.8, and this would be 10.8. And then CE is just 6 from the drawing. BA is 9. ED is K. CA and CD are not given, and they're not really needed because we already have everything we need to calculate K. So the next step would be just to cross multiply, and we get the following equation. We get 10.8K equals 9 multiplied by 6. So K is equal to 9 times 6 divided 10.8. And you can use your calculator to figure this out. So 9 times 6 divided by 10.8. This gives us an answer of 5. So K is equal to 5. Let's check the marking scheme. 5 is the correct answer. Next, we have a diagram. PQ is parallel to BC. APB and AQC are straight lines. And we are given some numbers and required to find PB. So if you have a triangle within a triangle like this and you have parallel lines, you should immediately realize that the triangles are similar. The proof for that is very simple, actually. This angle and this angle are corresponding angles, so they are equal to each other. This angle and this angle are also corresponding angles, so again, they are equal to each other. And finally, angle A is common to both triangles, the small triangle, the one in black, as well as the big triangle that I'm shading right now in blue. So the black triangle and the blue triangle are actually similar to each other. And we have to be very careful when we're writing the similarity equation because it's not given here. So we have to start with the first triangle. Let's just write it down, APQ. And we have to make sure that the order of the letters in the second triangle is matching what we chose for the first triangle. So A is equal to A. So we just write down A. And then P in red is equal to B. So for P, we have B. And finally, Q is equal to C. So we have C in this case. Now let's write down the similarity equation. So first two over first two, AP over AB equals PQ over BC equals AQ over AC. Next, we cross out the letters and put down the corresponding numbers. So we are given PQ equals 8. So let's just write this down. And we are given BC equals 10. And we are given AB equals to 9. So we want PB. PB is not in this equation. But if we can get this value, which I shall call X, we can use it to find PB, and I'll show you how. So let's first cross multiply. So we can say that 10x equals 9 times 8, which is 72. So x is 72 divided by 10, which gives us 7.2. Now, what is x? X is AP. So x is the distance from here to there. So this distance is 7.2. And we already know that AB as a whole is equal to 9. So the whole segment here is equal to 9. And we are required to find the remaining part. Let's call this y, for example. So the equation is that y plus 7.2 has to be the same as the 9. Let's write this down. So y plus 7.2 must equal 9. And therefore, y must equal 9 minus 7.2, which is the same as 1.8. And therefore, the value of y, which is PB, has to be 1.8. This is our final answer. And the marking scheme agrees. We have 1.8 as the final answer here. The final question in this video says that in the diagram, AB and CD are parallel. AD and BC intersect at right angles at the point X. AB equals 10, CD equals 5, AX equals 8, BX equals 6. Use similar triangles to calculate DX and then calculate angle XAB. So the hard aspect of this question, the difficult aspect here, is that you don't know which triangles are similar. So you need to be very careful when writing down the orders of the letters. We can guess that the small triangle is similar to the large triangle. So DXC and AXB are similar, but the order of the letters is extremely important. So let's write down the order of the first triangle, and this can be anything, it doesn't really matter. So let's just write DXC for now. And we have to position A, X, and B correctly. How do we do that? We have to figure out which angles are congruent to each other. So for example, from the drawing, we have that this is 90 and this is 90. So it's obvious that X is congruent to X. We just write X here. What about D? What angle in the red triangle is equal to the angle D in the blue triangle? Of course, here we have to use alternating interior angles, so the Z shape. The Z shape tells us that angle D is equal to angle A, because somebody else might have written down B for D, and that would not be correct. So actually, D corresponds to angle A, and similarly, using the exact same logic, we can figure out that angle C is equal to angle B. Angle C here must be equal to angle B in this case. So we can write B underneath C, and then we go ahead and start writing down the similarity equation. Dx over Ax equals Xc over Xb equals Dc over AB. And then we start crossing out and filling in the numbers we are given. So we have CD equals 5. So CD is the same as DC, of course, so this is 5. We have AB equals 10. We have AX equals 8, so this is 8. We have BX equals to 6. We are required to find DX. So let's just put an unknown. Let's just put X here. And we can cross multiply to find X. So basically, X times 10 and 8 times 5. So let's write this down. We have 10X equals 8 multiplied by 5. So 10X equals 40. Therefore, X must be equal to 4. How did I get 4? Of course, I did 40 over 10, and then I got 4. So X is actually dx, which tells us that the side dx is equal to 4 centimeters. We can also get Cx, we can also get Cx, yes, by the Pythagorean theorem if needed. But let's see if it's needed or not. So for dx, we have 4 centimeters. So this is the answer to question A. And for question I, for question II, we are required to find angle XAB, and we don't really need to get Cx for that. So we're looking for this angle here. Let's call it theta, for example. You can just use SOHCAHTOA. Any ratio would work because you have all 3 sides. So I'm just going to use the opposite. So this is the opposite. And this here would be the adjacent. So I would use tan theta equals opposite, which is 6, over adjacent, which is 8. TOA, remember TOA, this is important. So tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. So now all you have to do is just get the inverse tan of 6 over 8. So on the calculator, you would press shift tan and then 6 over 8. That would give you the proper angle. So shift tan 6 divided by 8. That gives us 36.9 degrees. So this is the answer to II, and let's now check the marking scheme to verify correctness. So the answer to AI is 4, and the answer to AII is 36.9. So it seems we have obtained the correct answer here. And this concludes our video. I hope this has been beneficial. Thank you for watching.